All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify your new shield on the printing floor, the Respiratory Protection Program. Look, whether you're working the offset carton lines or running the flexographic pouch machines, understanding exactly how to protect the air you breathe is absolutely vital. It's literally a lifesaver. So we're going to break down exactly what this program looks like in action.
I know your time is super valuable, so here's a quick look at exactly what we're covering today. Why we protect your lungs, medical clearance and fit tests, the strict clear-shaven rule, daily use and seal checks, tracking cartridges and storage, and finally, who manages the program.
Section 1. Why we protect your lungs. The invisible hazards on the print floor.
So you might be wondering, why do we even need this specific program? Well, the crucial point here is that this isn't just a friendly suggestion or some random company preference. It's a strict OSHA mandate under Standard 29 CFR 1910-134. Now, your facilities already have excellent engineering controls in place, right? Things like localized exhaust ventilation and heavy-duty hoods. But there are specific intense maintenance activities, like spraying down or doing a deep cleaning of those printing cylinders, where the hoods just literally cannot keep up. They can't maintain those air contaminants below the permissible exposure limits. And when the ambient air gets overwhelmed like that, your respirator steps up as your absolute primary line of defense.
And honestly, the specific hazards you face really illustrate why this is so critical. Think about the floors in Frankston, Tyler, or Edinburgh. You're constantly working with offset and flexo printing processes. That means you're dealing hands-on with raw ink solutions, incredibly volatile solvent press washes, heavy-duty blanket restorers, plate-making chemicals, the whole shebang. And all of these substances released intense organic vapors into the air. Add in the fine paper dust kicking up from the sheeters and die cutters, and wow, you've got a really complex atmospheric environment. Your respiratory protection is specifically engineered to lock every single one of those invisible hazards out of your lungs.
Moving right along to Section 2, medical clearance and fit tests, the prerequisites.
Okay, before anyone even picks up a mask, there's a strict onboarding sequence you have to go through. Step 1 is a confidential medical questionnaire. Why? Because honestly, breathing through an air-purifying respirator is physically demanding work. It puts extra strain on your pulmonary system. So Step 2 is getting a formal physician clearance to verify you're physically healthy enough to handle the gear. Once the doc gives you the green light, Step 3 is the mandatory annual airtight fit test. And guys, this isn't just trying on a mask to see if it feels comfy. It's a certified, rigorous test to guarantee your specific bone structure and face shape form a completely airtight seal with that face piece. Oh, and it's an annual test, meaning it absolutely must be recertified every single year.
All right, Section 3. The strict clear-shaven rule. The physics of the seal.
This is a big one. It really just comes down to simple physics. A respirator only works if literally all the air you breathe is forced through those chemical filters. For that to actually happen, the silicone edge of the mask must sit completely flush against bare skin. Even a single day's worth of stubble fundamentally breaks that airtight seal. I know it sounds crazy, but if you have facial hair right where the mask meets your skin, it creates these microscopic channels. And guess what? Raw ink vapors and volatile solvents are sneaky. They will follow the path of least resistance. They'll bypass the filter entirely, shoot through those tiny hair channels, and go straight into your lungs. That is exactly why the clear-shaven rule is an absolute, no exceptions, non-negotiable requirement for anyone issued a tight-fitting respirator.
On to Section 4, daily use and seal checks, your pre-shift routine.
So, passing a fit test once a year is great and all, but let's be real, conditions change every day. Because of that, every single time you put on your mask, you must independently verify your protection. You do this by performing both a positive and a negative pressure user seal check. It's super simple. First, you block the exhalation valve and gently breathe out. The mask should slightly bulge without any air leaking out. That's your positive check. Then you block the filter intake valves and inhale sharply. The mask should collapse inward slightly against your face, again, without any air slipping in around the edges. That's your negative check. This whole routine takes, maybe 5 seconds, but it is literally the only way to know for sure that your shield is active and working for that specific shift.
Section 5 already? Tracking cartridges and storage. Maintaining the shield.
Now, for the specific hazards we deal with in our printing environments, simple paper dust filters just won't cut it. No way. You'll be using specialized organic vapor cartridges. These bad boys are actually designed to chemically bind with and neutralize the heavy solvents and UV varnishes used on the presses. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. These cartridges have a finite lifespan. You have to know exactly what cartridges you're snapping onto your mask, and they must be strictly tracked and swapped out according to our facility's change-out schedule. Also, when your shift is over, you can't just leave it on a bench. Your mask has to be cleaned and stored in a designated sealed locker. If you don't seal it up, those cartridges will just sit there passively absorbing chemical vapors from the ambient plant air while you're off the clock, ruining the filter.
Now, I hear this question all the time on the floor. What if you aren't doing a heavy chemical washdown? What if you're, say, just sweeping up paper dust near the sheeter delivery, and you just want to throw on a basic N95 mask voluntarily for comfort?
Well, it turns out even if you are just volunteering to wear a basic filtering facepiece, what we all just call a dust mask, management still have to track it. Under OSHA Appendix T, the company actually has to provide you with specific info regarding voluntary use, and they have to monitor that usage. Why go through all that trouble for a dust mask? To absolutely prevent any floor-level confusion. Imagine a mix-up between an operator who's safely wearing a dust mask just to sweep up and a maintenance tech who mistakenly grabs that same basic dust mask instead of their required heavy-duty organic vapor respirator to clean a flexo cylinder. That would be a disaster. So tracking keeps everyone safe and on the same page.
And finally, Section 6. Who manages the program? The lean team responsibilities.
So behind the scenes, we've got a lean, 3-person responsibility matrix keeping this whole thing running smoothly. Your QA manager? They serve as the program administrator. They're the ones ensuring the strict privacy of your medical questionnaires, tracking all those annual fit test histories across the Texas and Virginia plants, and managing the cartridge replacement schedules. Then you have your plant manager. They are the field enforcer. It's their job to actually walk the floor, firmly enforce that clear-shaven rule we talked about, and make sure everyone is wearing their gear properly. And last but not least, your maintenance team and shift supervisors handle the physical hardware. They're doing the pre-use inspections, managing the storage lockers, and keeping those massive physical exhaust hoods running at absolute peak capacity.
Let's wrap things up with one crucial thought to take away from this explainer. The respiratory protection program is incredibly thorough on paper, right? But at the end of the day, protecting your lungs ultimately relies on your personal daily commitment to the process. From making sure you pass that medical questionnaire, to taking the time to shave before your shift, all the way down to taking those 5 seconds to do your positive and negative pressure checks, every single step matters. So I'll leave you with this. Is a perfect seal just about the physics of the mask, or is it really a reflection of your daily dedication to going home safe? Just make sure you're fully cleared, clear-shaven, and completely sealed up before you hit the floor today. Thanks so much for joining me, and hey, stay safe out there.